All right, Speed Gaming 3, hello, and welcome to the bronze match of the 2022 Speed Gaming Live Super Metroid Randomizer Tournament. We've got an excellent match set up for you tonight between Solski and Glove. I'd like to introduce my co-commentator. Zeb and I played in the championship match earlier, and then we thought that we would spend a little more time together and do some comms tonight. So, Zeb, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a really fun weekend, and this is a good way to end the Super Metroid tournament.
I agree. Very excited that we get a chance to have a bronze match. Solski and Glove, both fantastic runners, really performed very well in the qualifying process, have had some great races here, and this is going to be our last batch of races for the event, which we're excited to do here.
Yep. At least the last batch that are streamed.
That's
the last batch that are
that's right, from
part
our main
of our
bracket.
main event.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. We still have a few players in the consolation bracket, which is also very cool. Let's go do a quick rundown while they're getting set up to start the race. This is a best-of-3 match. All three of the races are different, slightly different settings. They're all going to feature basically like what we would call full area. There's area randomization. 32 different portals that can connect to other places, which means that every time you play a seed, you have to track that. It's totally different. But in terms of item split, game one is going to be full countdown. Basically, full means items can be anywhere in any location. But the cool thing about countdown is it's kind of relatively new. We've only competed with it a few times. It shows a HUD in the top left that shows you how many major items are in that location. So you really get some good information that allows you to not just blindly check stuff all the time. You get to make some strategic decisions based on how many items are in each area.
Yeah, for sure. Like with regular full, a lot of times you just have to clear every area. And if you go kind of a different way from your opponent and you choose the wrong way, then you're basically just dead in the water because you have to check so many items. But full countdown helps mitigate that a little bit by just telling you if there's nothing else left in the area, you can just leave.
That is a great point. So, yeah, I really like the the mode. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we're gonna get started here soon, and look forward to a great match. We'll talk about the other game settings when we get there. I think one thing we should mention: this is not ball shuffle. There's a ball shuffle in game 3 if we get there, but not here. So we'll have vanilla bosses, and I believe we got Solski on the right, Glove on the left. I can tell that we're going to have some kind of interesting shenanigans because you can see the color scheme on Solski's side is
yeah. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, I'm a little worried too. We'll see what we have here. So briefly, I think Zeb kind of referenced this already, but just to reiterate, the full countdown, the number of items that you see, it's only going to be what you see on the tracker here, plus X-ray and grapple, I believe. Is that right?
Yep, that is correct.
Cool. So there's a grand total of 16. We got 14 there on the tracker, and then X-ray and grapple is all is at the top on the HUD. All right, and we're getting geared up here to start in just a moment. All right, we got a countdown here. Hopefully we'll avoid the criteria 5, right?
Yeah, I like to see like that criteria 1
Yeah.
where you just have morph ball and that's it.
All right, and we're off. Start of the bronze match here. Okay, 3 is reasonable. Oh, and there's
that's disgusting. I'm going to have to step out for commentary. I'm not sure I can deal with this.
Yeah, right off the bat, we got some Kirby action. So, so Glove on the left there, Solski on the right. They're going to head down to pick up the morphing ball, and then from there you will see the countdown shift down to 2, and not really sure where the other 2 are going to be here. However, there are some restrictions. There's no suits allowed in criteria or blue Brinstar here, this area, so if you end up skipping, I don't know about you, Zeb, obviously everybody plays a little bit differently with their strategy, but I'm usually willing to leave an item behind, even a major item sometimes in criteria if I've checked, the ones that are relatively quick and I don't find it, because I'm like, well, at least it can't be a suit, right?
Yeah, and even to go further than that, like if I find early power bombs, I'll normally, if the number's not too high, I'll normally skip Billy Mays, just check the portal instead.
Right.
Because I find the portal information more valuable than those two checks.
That's a great point. You got to have power bombs, a certain number of power bombs, to either go for the items or the or that information for the portal. There's a Retro Bren portal over here. So there's our morph ball in the ceiling. Also, I need to mention too, we have Stump on tracking. Stump's been helping us out a lot too, so Stump's right over here. Thank you very much, Stump, for tracking for us. And there's that power bomb.
Yeah, early power bombs are really, really nice to see in area randos. Just being able to check that portal behind morph ball is super valuable, or even to go to Billy Mays as Solski is doing here.
Yeah, Solski's going to head up. One thing I will say is if you do elect to do that early Billy Mays check, even if you don't get a major, if you get a second power bomb pack, that can actually be pretty huge.
So something, Glove just skipped Awakening Missiles.
Oh.
And I don't think that's intentional. I think that's just I forgot
accident,
to, I forgot to check Awakening Missiles. I forgot I didn't get it yet.
Speaking of another power bomb pack, that is really nice. Also, getting energy tanks in full countdown. You know, I think it's oh, we got a red tower connection. I think it's sometimes people expect if you do a full randomizer that you'll get a ton of E-tanks. It's actually not always that way, so it's always nice to see an early one.
And I think especially in full countdown, you tend to not get as many E-tanks as you otherwise would, because a lot of times when you see 0, you just don't get any items in the area.
That's a good point.
And there could be a lot of E-tanks there.
And we actually have 2 power bomb packs and a super before we even have a regular missile pack. And another one. 15.
And Glove just skipped a missile, so it's totally fine.
Yeah, that's right. We do have 1 in Red Brinstar. Always a little nerve-wracking when there's only 1 in Red Brinstar, because Red Brinstar has, I think, 5 portals to check, or is it 6? 6 portals to check. Yeah. And then on top of that, if that 1 is X-ray, usually you're not going to get it early unless you have a lot of E-tanks or, you know, a good item to get there.
Oh, and Glove. So I like doing what Glove is doing, but I like waiting until you check the other 2 portals first.
Right.
Because now if you want to go through that portal, you'd have to do kind of like this gravity jump running from the other room that's kind of annoying. Whereas if you wait on that portal for last and you decide you want to go through it, then you can just go through it.
Good point, but fortunately for Glove, not punished. It was the back of Rex ship, which is out of logic currently. But Glove did find the Kraid's Lair, and Kraid's Lair is wonderful to find when there's no boss shuffle on.
Yeah, for sure. One interesting thing here, I think the Glove should have just done Kraid right away, because we know that Kraid is Kraid. I think that this would make more sense if this were boss randomizer.
True.
But Glove knew that they were going to come back here and kill Kraid anyway, regardless of what that portal was. So just do it now and then check the portal after, I think.
True. I almost hate to admit this, though. I actually, in some way, understand, because I actually forgot how to kill Kraid without the missiles. Like, I just know how to do the regular missile and super missile strat, you know, for the quick kill. So if I came in here without a regular missile, I'd probably be in rough shape. But luckily, there's a pack right there.
Very nice missile pack, which you don't say very often. But
that's true. Yeah, it's a unique seed when you get to say, hey, nice missile pack. In the meantime, Solski going up the climb.
Glove's going to need to be a little careful with her health. But
yeah, not going to get any ammo drops until after going above 50.
So
did get rid of...
I think maybe waiting there for the super would have been good.
Nice pickup for Solski.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Whenever charge is in criteria and you actually get it first pass, that completely changes how you can approach some of the future situations.
Yeah, and in these countdown seeds, charge is very valuable, because in the same way that you would expect, like in a full randomizer, you get a lot of E-tanks, you would expect that you would get a lot of ammo, but that's not necessarily the case, again, because like you're skipping so many of the checks once you see that number hit 0.
Right. Oh, just barely missed the quick kill there, but I think Glove did manage to get in 2 supers and a regular missile, so I think this last super, if it lands, should mop up this fight. There we go.
Yep, nicely done.
Man, there's a lot of power bombs in this seed. There's no major item at crate, as you can see from the 0. However, there are 3 total items, and especially this early, I would probably just pick them all up anyway.
Yeah, no matter what they are, just
Yeah.
pick them up. Like,
And you get the power bomb refill
mm-hmm.
from the bugs.
An E-tank this early would be very, very valuable too.
That's
so.
a great point, yeah. And it's really funny how depending on which item split you're using, you know, energy tanks are either like something you don't want to see or like you definitely want to see. So here you would want to run into as many as possible early. Let's see what we have over here. We'll glove, spike, and E-tank. Oh, we're going to skip that item and not get the refill on the power bombs either.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but...
Yeah, I definitely would have picked that up, but, you know, every runner's got their own style.
I would have thought about going back in that criteria portal too for glove. I think that I kind of like that. Although you know that there is one major left. I think that's kind of the reason to stay here. I think that the criteria portals are a bit quicker here. You kind of, at least the way I think about it, when I do this meme route, I kind of want to get back to criteria at some point to like get those items that my opponent might have like done if they didn't do meme route.
Right.
So that's kind of what I would be thinking about.
Speaking of upgrades,
Ooh.
I always like, if I get charge early, I always like if I run into another beam pretty early too, because the worst thing in the world is having charge but like nothing else, and then like you're going late into the seed and you don't know if you should be looking for, you know, that extra damage potential. So Solski starting this seed off, having charge immediately and wave, one of the, you know, I think it's the second most powerful beam just in terms of damage.
Yeah, and
some good
Solski,
utility.
well-known SMZ rerunner, just laid a power bomb when got stuck under the bridge.
Ooh,
there is
screw
a shot
attack.
block there. Yeah, screw attack. It's pretty nice. It's almost more nice just so that you know where the one item in red tower is, so now you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Man, we're seeing all kinds of majors here. Spring ball. Was there 4 or 5?
There were 4.
Okay.
So now there's 3. Yep.
I consider Green Brinstar, regardless of the mode, to kind of be like the place that you sort of gear up, because there's a lot of items you can get to fairly quickly, and you know, even if you don't get a ton of majors, you get like some great ammo and stuff. But it's always nice when you got like 3 or 4 items here in Green Brin to pick up.
Yeah, I find that sometimes in these area randos, you can like completely avoid Green Brinstar, like it can be like really late in the seed. And during those seeds, I find being able to kill Mother Brain with ammo gets a lot harder because you just don't get enough miners because Green Brinstar is so rich with them.
That's right. So Glove is going to check. This is actually one of my least favorite portals in the game. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it's not really that long of a check, but it's just, it can be really inconvenient.
Yeah, whenever I go down into the other portal, I always make sure to come up here to check this one, just because there's like no other time you're going to check it.
That's a good point.
And it's just like, it's so,
Ooh.
portal knowledge is just so important in this.
It is. Yeah, Zeb making a great point there. Basically, even though it looks like that was like a, 30-second, potentially plus time investment just to get the portal information, sometimes if you don't check a portal and it's like the wrong portal that you really needed, it can catch up and cost you a ton of time later. So very valuable.
Also interesting, Glove is deciding to check this miner after not checking the Kraid E-Tank miner. She must have like just kind of changed her mind at some point and decided that she wanted more of these miner checks.
Yeah. Obviously, when you're this, you're only this deep, only about 10 minutes into one of these area randos, it's really hard to say exactly who has an advantage. However, I will say, because, later sometimes they'll swap places, etc., but I'm a little concerned about the fact that Glove did not get the charge beam and the wave beam early. It is certainly possible that Glove chooses not to go back to criteria for a while.
Did you see what that was?
I
That
did
looked like a
not.
major.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Okay, it looks like it was bombs. People in chat saying.
Oh, nice.
So,
Bombs I like bombs.
it's really important, I think, to check that maze item in full countdown, because sometimes you end up with like one wreck ship and you can see what it is right there. And then if it's something like not super useful, then a lot of times you can just decide, okay, I can completely skip the top of wreck ship.
That's a good point, yeah. Like if it's X-ray or something like that.
Mhm.
Oh, man, plasma. Full,
Yeah, full beam combo.
full beam combo at 11 minutes.
So the interesting thing about this is I think Glove is going to find all of these things at some point. How long she spends collecting ammo before that, where Solski will know that he can just skip that ammo.
Right.
That's kind of what's good. Oh.
Oh, wow. If Solski finds that when he gets there, that's going to be very, very helpful. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm hoping that that'll be the case. But at the same time, I'm still a little concerned about whether Glove will actually find charge or not. I think it was at 2:30, and it just depends on.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when you leave criteria, you just kind of don't go back and like clear through things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, he found Spazer too?
Yeah. He
My goodness.
picked up Spazer.
All right, Fantoon time.
Oh, and we found the good Upper Norfair portal. Is this the one that you like to see when you don't have area? When you do have area, I like to see the Bubble Mountain transition. Nice Doppler from Glove.
Yeah,
Probably
well
won't
done.
be able to get a 2-round, but still pretty good.
Also, is Glove? Does Glove not have a single E-tank?
Nope.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty dicey.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't get hit.
I would consider just enraging Fantoon, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, no. That's not
So
what
Glove
we
took
wanna
a
see.
save before this. She knew about her energy situation.
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where that is the most awkward energy range to be in, where you haven't been taken down to be in health bomb range, but you are lower than one hit, you know, on Fantoon. That's kind of no man's land, if you will.
Yeah, and it's really hard with 0 E-tanks.
Yeah,
to
100%.
kind of manage your health in a way that you don't end up in that situation. It's just like, don't have a whole ton of control.
Yeah. But we'll reload and try again. I didn't quite see what item was at Croc Escape, but I thought I saw green. Maybe it was just a super.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that either. Looks like it wasn't a major because Solski is continuing to check Norfair. Yep, looks like it was a super.
Gotcha.
Just a power bomb. Glove take 2 on Fantoon.
Solski actually found Varia at that location that he just checked in his first round matchup against Apathy Duck.
Okay.
See, this is actually a lot better. Well,
now, yeah, that's
this is
fine.
still
That's
okay.
fine.
Yeah, this is still okay. The numbers really matter here.
Oh, and Solski, I think that Solski maybe, how much they have in there, does he have in his reserve? If his reserve's full, he's totally fine.
Or if this is a super. Ooh. But he did save, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
Fantoon really not being very kind to Glove, giving another second plus round slow. Not what you want to see. It's not even just the fact that it's slow. It's the fact that it's sometimes it gives real bad flame patterns. Yeah.
And well, I won't speak too early.
Oh, you have got to be kidding. Why is it that stuff like that only happens when you don't have any energy, right? Like when you're low on health. Well done by Glove there. And a smile. Yeah. The rare.
I'm glad I didn't speak too early.
Yeah. You know, ironically, that's the second rare pattern of this tournament. I got one. I got the right side one in my first round match, but it wasn't on stream. So, some magical things happen at SG Live with Super Metroid. All right, so we're on the hunt for what are those 3 items going to be?
Well, there's only one left that we don't know about because we know about bombs and X-ray.
Oh, you're right. Yes, good call.
So this is also, like, if there's another major down here, Glove will know that she probably doesn't have to go to the top of Wreck Ship to get those bombs. Like, bombs are nice, but probably not worth clearing top of Wreck Ship for.
Probably not. However, I will say this, and I say this because Glove and I experienced this in our Game 1 match yesterday. Bombs was at, like, the gravity location, like one of those items, and that was the only can fly that we got that required us to use that to get something else progression. So in theory, it doesn't happen very often, but it is possible that bombs can be like the only thing provided to you to get something important.
Yeah, that's true. I've had a seed that required me to go to Mama Turtle suitless to get bombs so that I could get to Indiana Jones.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It,
hopefully that's not the case here, but you know, you never know. Crazy things happen. Glove gonna skip the Wreck Ship energy tank. I think that's a very viable option here. One great thing about having Screw and Wreck Ship is when you get to Attic, you can just run and jump into everything.
Yeah, I actually think that skipping Wreck Ship E-Tank is just, like, correct in Countdown because you'll know after you clear the rest if you actually need to do it. And if you don't need to do it, then you just get to skip it. Like, it's a very long check.
Yeah, plus, you know, with the 99 energy, your margin for error is very, very small. All right, so Solski over here.
Okay, West Meridia. That's an interesting portal. Sometimes I like to go down it and just kind of, like, see what's down there if I've taken a save recently, or even sometimes I've done it if it's behind Morph.
Right.
And just, like, I don't mind resetting 3 minutes.
Yeah, the cool thing about that particular one is there's only 4 portals in Western Meridia, and like you said, if you have a save, you can actually, suitless with no items, still get information on 3 of the 4 portals because you can fall all the way down, check Main Street, and then check the crab. I don't know what people call it, different things. The crab portal down there.
And sometimes you find, like, a green Brinstar and you can just keep going.
Ooh, high
so
jump
Glove
boots.
knows that she can leave now.
That's right.
Because there's not going to be speed here. There are no more items.
I guess the somewhat silver lining is high jump boots, fantastic item, but if you have a speed locked item like that you know is very unlikely for you to make it back to get, that one is one you usually can work around. Now there are certain scenarios, like if you get asked to do some suitless stuff or whatever, in certain types of seeds, but generally speaking, that's you can work around that. I would rather see high jump boost there than gravity or something when I don't have speed booster.
Actually, sometimes I don't hate seeing gravity or, like, a suit there because once you know it's there, sometimes, like, you can just, like, kind of know speed is your go mode, and your opponent won't necessarily know that, so you can just kind of beeline it back there.
That is a good point. That is a great point. Solski, you'll have to forgive me because there's so many transitions I always forget. Do we already know the moat?
We do.
Okay.
This is one of the Red Tower transitions from Glove earlier. I think it was I think Glove is actually going to go to that transition now. I think it's the one above the bottom right. God, what's it called? Like, not the one that is, like, directly across from this, but the one above that.
I think Solski might be forgetting that he has Spring Ball. There's actually a
Spring Ball makes it a lot easier.
It's very, and I say easy relatively speaking, but it is significantly easier than doing a CWJ. And it's not overly particular.
It looks like he realized it and tried to morph there. I think it's easier to do when you're going from outside the door to
Agreed.
You just, like, can get enough run speed and then kind of adjust on the fly. But
yeah. Well, both runners just had a nice high five there, but with totally different loadouts. Glove with screw attack and bombs. Solski with full beam combo and spring ball.
That's a good portal to know about. That's a really good one to keep in mind for later.
Indeed.
But not for now. And we'll see what Glove ends up doing. I think that, so there's, like, I think the 230 likely gets skipped because of Gauntlet.
Yeah.
because if you go through Gauntlet, then you skip 230 probably. Oh, and it looks like this is criteria power bomb. So Glove is being very thorough.
Yeah.
So that's actually a good sign that she'll probably find charge.
Maybe. Yeah, I agree. The only caveat is, you know, when you make a check like this and it doesn't pay out, it kind of feels like you lost a decent chunk of time, and then, you know, depends on how much time you want to cut later. But yeah, I do agree that if you're going to check something like this, you're probably committing to trying to find at least one of the two, if not both of the majors left.
And I think that you would actually be more committed if you didn't already skip Billy Mays.
That's a good point. And just a missile.
Interesting skipping that with only 15. If she finds charge, that will pay off, but I normally like to continue picking up missiles. I like to be prepared for charge lists, basically, although in full countdown it's less, that can punish you more than normal. Because you're so likely to run in charge.
You're going to make me really salty by saying that, though, Zeb, because I get killed in the chat all the time. People make fun of me for picking up a ton of missiles, but they don't ever say it when you do it, so.
Yeah. It's because they know when I do is right.
I'm going to take that because I beat him earlier. We're just having a good time, folks.
No, we can't stand each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even want to do comms together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as Zeb pointed out, Glove going to thoroughly clear Gauntlet, and I do think you're correct in terms of if you're gonna go ahead and clear this out, you got to really make a decision once you don't find any more of these majors. You know, am I gonna full clear everything else up here? But 230 is probably the last one that she would want to do.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think you would want to go back down for Billy Mays, especially because you know, like, if you're going to do that, I think you would actually have come from the bottom to the top, where there was a portal in Red Tower that led back to the meme route location.
Right. Super missiles. You know, I gotta say, I love super missiles a lot. I realize even, you know, when you have full beam combo, you know, you don't typically pick up stuff, but there are definitely places where supers still have great value if you don't have to, like, go out of your way to get them. So supers are really powerful in this game.
Yeah.
Really powerful.
Once you get full beam combo,
oh no.
Yeah, once you get full beam combo, they become significantly less powerful, but, like, anything below that, it's still really, like, really valuable to have.
Definitely. And there's Green Bryn, top of Green Bryn again.
Glove going back, check the other portal first. I like this. Yeah, I think the problem with 230 is you're going so far out of your way just for one check. It's like you're not getting anything else out of it.
You're right. But, you know, on the flip side, if Glove is going to book it back over, you know.
I think at that point then,
yeah, it's right there.
What were the other two Green Brinstar portals? If they force Glove back, then I think that we see her pick up that that 230 missile charge beam.
I hate to say it, but I am worthless without a tracker. Part of the reason I love this mode, but also one of the struggles is, like, I have a hard time remembering things, so I have to write everything down or mark it on one of our digital trackers, but I actually can't remember. I guess we'll find out soon. Invincibility candy. That's a frightening image of Kirby.
I like picking up reserves in Area Rando a lot. They can do some good things for you, whether it's Upper Norfair Hell runs or Lower Norfair Hell runs. Both, they can be very useful.
Yeah, totally agree. Not very often, but occasionally you can even abuse it for, like, an unfortunate X-ray check situation. Yeah. Very, very niche situation, but it does come up occasionally.
that'll be more so useful in Chozo when we get to that.
That's right.
Where in full countdown, you're less likely to want to do the early X-ray check versus in Chozo, where all of the Chozo locations are so powerful.
Right. There's that ice beam for Glove. And another super pack. You know, we haven't had a ton of Upper Norfair action. Obviously, we got the left side, but haven't been in Upper Norfair very much. Upper Norfair in Area Rando, one of those places that, depending on the layout of the portals, can be really tricky. There's 5 portals there, and obviously you have to deal with the environmental conditions that you don't in some of the other sections. So, curious to see how that plays a part later now that we're getting deeper into the siege, so I don't have Varia.
Another minor interesting thing to note is that Solski now does have that X-ray, where Glove skipped it after dying once to Fantoon. So Solski will be able to microwave where Glove won't be able to, even if she ends up getting her full beam combo. We'll see if Glove makes the mistake of picking up Spazer as well.
Right.
It's almost kind of worth it. Oh, we'll see what order Glove does this in, because Glove might actually not do Mission Impossible right away. So
Man, I don't even know what. I usually am not lost for words, but I don't have any. I don't have anything for that. Clearly, when I write the rules for next year's event, I'm gonna need to take a few considerations in mind for what sprites are allowed.
yeah, for the viewers' mental well-being.
That's right.
Yeah, it looks like Glove is going to skip Mission Impossible for now. It's a relatively long check, so I think that makes sense. Save it for last. Unfortunately, it is the major. I believe it is that plasma beam. And now it looks like Glove is starting to really commit to ammo, picking up all these missiles. Is actually in a pretty decent spot at this point for ammo. Not going to be, like, she'll need to definitely go a bit out of her way to get more ammo. You can't just, like, expect to stumble into enough ammo at this point.
Right.
Interesting in Glove. So I think that if you went down that far, I think that you want to check charge and charge missile before doing this.
Right.
In case, although both of them would have to be major before you would, like, not do this. So I guess this is fine, too.
There's the plasma beam. Glove feeling good about making that choice. Solski going over.
Solski doing this. Okay.
I don't think Solski saw the bombs, maybe?
Well,
Right.
there's another item, even if he did, so...
True. I'm just wondering if he didn't see it, if that would like affect his decision to route it in.
And I like Glove still checking this item a lot, although not picking up those missiles. I would really like to see Glove pick up those missiles. So often, you see runners just get really close to enough ammo near the end of the game. If they had just picked up a few extra missiles,
Right.
they would have enough, but...
And like I said earlier, the main thing stopping them from picking it up is because chat, bullies them into thinking that it's the wrong decision. No, but yeah, I totally agree. You want to be as flexible as possible, deeper into the seed. One thing I will say that's kind of interesting, we are closing in on the 30-minute mark, and we don't have a movement item yet. And just for clarification, I'm not speaking ill of Spring Ball. It's just that I kind of consider it more of a utility item. There are certain things that it does, but in terms of like affecting room-to-room movement, it doesn't have the same impact as the 3, cornerstone ones. So
I'm not sure. I think that the Spring Ball authorities would like to speak with you about that.
Well, there are actually situations where I would prefer to have Spring Ball, but I'm kind of referring to its utility in that case. There are just too many rooms where Spring Ball has zero impact in terms of overall movement. So that's why I kind of consider it in a different category.
Yeah, I kind of consider it similar to Space Jump, where it's a momentum kind of like carrier
Yeah.
in a lot of different places, although it does have other utilities as well, like with Sulis Meridia or getting
Oh, for sure.
up some wall jumps.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, can't go into Eastern Meridia.
Yep, so I think the glove will probably be in Upper Norfair. This is kind of rough, only having one in Upper Norfair. I think the answer is here, though, somewhere. It might be one of the portals, even, but it's somewhere in Upper Norfair. I think that we've seen everything else and all of the other items, so it might honestly be a speed for those high jump boots, and then expect you to do Suitless Meridia.
You know what? You might be right. Actually, the dream is still alive. It could be speed to get high jump boots to then use bombs logically to get Mama Turtle item.
I'm not sure about that because, or to get Mama Turtle, I think that you can get that without the bombs, with speed and high jump.
Suitless?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. No,
Yeah,
you
you
are
can
correct. You
jump.
are correct. I know this has nothing to do with what we're doing right now, but a dog just walked into the room and then exited, and it had a Halloween costume on. So that just made everybody in a better mood. Scary
I'm not, 'cause
skeleton.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you'll just have to continue to be miserable, right? So yeah, let's figure out what our answer is here. We've got one more item in Upper Norfair. We know it's not going to be here. We assume it's going to be in that Bubble Mountain area. I guess technically Cathedral could still be open. Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's probably enough E-tanks, like, between everything. This feels like a Cathedral seed, to be honest. So, with these settings, it loves to put, like, progression at Cathedral. Just really loves it. Yeah, you can do this spring ball jump. You want to freeze the crab, though, actually. You can also do it with just ice. I think that Solski may have given up a little prematurely there if he really wanted to do that. I think that would have been a really interesting play because you could have saved at that save station and then gone down Meridia.
You're making a great point there. Even though it would have been, I think, out of logic, it's still a play that can be made.
And I mean, you know that that's in logic too because you know where the other Meridia transition is.
Right.
That you could go to.
This seed is starting to get complicated. Just about every Game 1 seed that we've had in this tournament has been pretty complicated.
Yeah, it's so complicated that Solski doesn't know what to do, it looks like. But I think that, the answer just has to be in Upper Norfair somewhere.
Yeah, I think you're
like,
right.
it could be a transition in Upper Norfair. It could even be a transition from Meridia instead.
Yeah.
It could expect you to fall down.
You know what? It could be a transition into, like, Croc.
Yep.
Yeah. We don't know how many items are at Croc at the moment.
But this, I just feel like this is at Cathedral. It just, like, that's just how the seed feels. And I think with a Crystal Flash Glove should be totally fine to get it. As long as you can get there before you have to Crystal Flash, you should be fine with 4 E-tanks.
All right, here we go.
Hopefully Glove has, there we go.
Yeah, this is much safer.
There we go.
Yeah, don't want to leave 3 in there. Gonna be hard to Crystal Flash with 3 in the reserve. All right, what's Solski up to here? Did we see what was at Cathedral yet? Yeah, definitely worth getting. Yeah.
Not progression, but it is worth it. So, I was proven wrong by the seed, but there probably still is progression somewhere in Norfair.
Yeah, we got 3 items at the reserve location. We've got 1 at Bubble Mountain, 2 at Wave, 2 at Speed. So 8 opportunities. Where's the one going to be?
Bubble Mountain missile would be the nicest, but
It sure would.
But it's not there.
The cruelest would be the missile in the last room of the reserve
Yeah.
room. That would be terrible.
Glove needs another power bomb to be able to Crystal Flash again.
Man, these item loadouts are very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that positionally Glove is ahead, and item-wise Solski's ahead at this point because Glove I think is just closer to her progression than Solski is.
Agreed. But that missing charge looms large.
Yeah, I think if Glove commits to ammo and picks up like every missile pack along the way, like makes sure to check like a few extra things, she's in really good shape. But if she decides not to, if she decides that she doesn't want to pick up missile packs and the seed isn't really kind with supers, I think this could end up being pretty difficult for Glove to finish at the end.
Right. Not to mention the fact that Solski's going to get so much value off that microwave in Meridia. You know, Batoon
Okay, and
and
Solski's deciding to
Dragon.
do this instead of Norfair.
Interesting. Maybe our progression is here at the Crab Supers.
It can't be, like, logically, but it could, like...
Wait, are you sure?
At this place?
Because
I'm pretty sure.
I've had my first super pack here before in a seed.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this one
Hey!
is... Okay.
I don't know if that's actually progression, but it's a nice item.
Maybe it's just Mama Turtle. It can't be yet.
Maybe so.
Unless you have high jump.
You know, space is always a great item, you know, regardless, but I do think that area rando, if you made a tier list of items, I think area actually changes the tier list slightly from our old model. I think space jump actually gets a bump in value in area for a variety of reasons.
I'm not so sure about that. I actually kind of think it almost gets worse because you don't necessarily have to go through some of the transitions where it would be a little bit better.
Those are gone, but at the same time, you are going, in some cases, from like places where, let's put it this way, there are times where you really need it to be able to check certain transitions. Like if you don't have a way across, you know, the bottom of, like going to Lava Dive, for example, then you can check that and actually get back without having to save. And then various other places. It also depends on if you get screw attack or not. But I don't know, man. I guess every runner is different. For me, it has been a huge, like, it's totally changed the way that I've played.
I will say that I think that in general, movement items are just better in area because you're running around the map so much more than you are in vanilla.
Exactly.
Missile and super.
Super.
So Solski, I think there's a way to get out. It's disgusting. I hope that Solski took a save recently and can just reset this.
Yeah, I think I probably would have like just left after getting the space. But
Or check the portals because I don't think that we've seen how this springbolt jump is.
Yeah, this is okay. He's resetting.
And what did Glove get there? Oh, it was gravity. Oh, just nothing big.
Yeah, nothing big at all. So this is actually kind of fascinating. It's really hard to say who's in a more dominant position at the moment.
Yeah, I just think that as long as Glove like gets enough ammo, that she is far enough ahead that she can afford the time losses of checking all of the ammo locations. But so this, if Solski decides to go back down again, Solski will likely end up in Upper Norfair, which is where he needs to be.
Zeb, I hate to do this to you, but that's 2 rooms in a row where space jump would have been way faster.
That is true. That is true.
But I only say that because you're in rooms that you would never have been in otherwise. Like in our normal randomizer, you end up traversing places that you never would have. So, you know, there are certain awkward situations that can occur.
Oh, and there's Croc.
All right, dude. What's it going to be? I feel like it's going to be Varia.
Nah, there's like only 2 items left. So it's either Varia or Grapple?
Right. That's why I get to make like a wild assumption. Then if I'm right, I can act like I knew what I was talking about. We were actually talking earlier today about how much energy required to get through the acid here.
So either, that's interesting because either Varia's here or it's in West Meridia.
Correct.
So either way, Glove is like right next to Varia.
That's right. And has the, gravity to get it. Whereas Solski is not in that position.
Oh yeah, Speed. Speed is the third, so there are 3 items left. Just forgot about Speed. So two-thirds chance, kind of, that there's Varia close to Glove.
Of course, with gravity, even though you would take the full brunt of the acid damage, you still would be moving faster through the acid, so you wouldn't be taking as much in the grand scheme. But
funnily enough, we'll actually get to see the E-Tank item on Solski's screen before we do on Gloves, because Glove had to skip it for energy purposes.
Zeb, I hate to do this to you again, but
yeah,
Solski's about to make massive use of that space jump in multiple rooms, because right now it would be like just 2 seconds to get up there, and then also checking pantry. So it really depends on which item, which location this major is. Glove would really, like, Glove doesn't know this, but she would much prefer that it not be pantry, because she's going to have to infinite bomb jump up there, and Solski's just going to get it on the way out, like in 2 seconds from the grapple location.
Yeah, this will be okay. So Glove is going to check the other, the Croc E-Tank first.
Oh, man, this is actually kind of a big swing.
Yeah, I think because Solski's going to be forced into the upper Norfair almost certainly after this, where he'll be forced to get that gravity suit.
Right. And he's just going to fly straight across. Look, I don't usually like to make bold predictions, but and there's no telling what's going to happen from this point forward. But if this race ends up being really, really close later, this segment actually could loom pretty large.
I just realized, did Glove skip those supers?
I don't know.
I think that she was on 35. So I think that she just skipped those supers. That's kind of insane to me.
Oh, it's just grapple.
Okay.
Interesting. So wait, where's the Varia? Is the Varia going to have to be in West Meridia? Is that the last one?
No. There's West Meridia, and then, well, there's Speed also. So Speed is outstanding.
Man, this seat's getting complicated.
And have we seen all the transitions now? Does there have to be like one in either Lower Norfair or East Meridia? I don't know if I think that we saw so we should know, but
yeah, someone in chat mentioned too, Solski got some great value off of that just charged plasma on Croc. That saved some time and some ammo. But yeah, Solski's in a bit of a
I think that Solski
here.
is actually going to... No, I think Solski's totally fine. This is going to lead to single chamber.
Oh, that's right,
and then that's going to lead to gravity at wave beam.
It's always a little scary, though, like especially early in seasons where you don't know all the transitions when you're checking this one, because you can end up locking yourself in. There, Glove seeing that space jump.
What would have been crazy if the Varia had been at that Main Street missile.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. All right, Solski. Oh, I was hoping he would go ahead and hop down there. With the space jump, makes it a lot safer, and especially having wave beam.
And you even have a crystal flash.
Yeah. But you can get out fairly quickly because you don't have to go down and like risk hitting the spikes. You can just kind of go across. That's a nice situation. But it looks like he's going to do it in a slightly different order, or maybe he wanted to be, quote unquote, a little more careful.
Yeah, I don't mind going to Norfair Reserve first. It's the most item dense area. So the item will be at either beach or watering hole here for West Meridia.
Double missile, not what you want to see.
Yeah, and I kind of like this reset for Solski just to conserve some of your energy.
Yeah, that's a great point. When you're hell running, energy is time, right? We'll say goodbye to the Ninja Turtles and Mama Turtle. And I guess our final item in West Meridia is going to be a beach or watering hole, right?
Yep.
All right, chat, what's it going to be?
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. I think Glove would have like a huge lead, to be honest, if she were picking up all the missiles and the super along the way.
Yeah.
Because she would be so close to just having all the ammo to beat the game at this point. I think she would probably be at like 70, 45 or something and need one more super.
Right.
But as it is, she still needs like 4 more supers.
Right.
So
I will say this. This is a very nitpicky thing what I'm about to say. So this is very niche, but this is part of the reason why I mentioned earlier that I felt like Solski, if I was in his position, I would have checked wave immediately because you're literally right there. You have tons of ammo. There's Varia.
Mm-hmm.
You have tons of energy and you can get in and out quickly. And then if you need to, you can refill at speed. And if it happens to be the one item, you're done. You don't have to do anything else. Whereas if you leave it behind, you're not going to return to it until very last. So unfortunately, for him, that wait ended up actually costing like a couple of minutes.
I also like skipping that E-Tank a lot there.
To get it on the way out. Yeah, I do too. Very heady play.
So I think the Glove is still ahead as long as the items work out, where like you end up getting supers, but the Seed could very easily just like give you a bunch of power bombs and missiles instead.
Right.
And you just are searching for a long time before you get to the ammo threshold.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and I like this from Solski a lot. Solski knows that there are only 2 items left that he doesn't know about. And one of those is in West Meridia, so just going straight back there just makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. Okay, moment of truth. Is Glove going to... No. I didn't know which portal Glove would be taking, and I was thinking that maybe it would be possible.
Okay, I think this goes to West Meridia.
She would go back
at the very bottom,
to
the
get that
front
charge.
of West Meridia, I think.
Solski's still going to get a lot of value from that microwave.
I don't think we've seen Torian, have we?
I don't remember seeing it.
So I think, have we seen both ends of Lorne Orpher? Because I think this might be a really bad
No, I think
mistake.
we only saw the.
Okay.
Musketeers.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Then we did see both ends of East Meridia. We had to have seen both ends of that then. So you want to at this point you should know where Torian is because there's only one portal left. I think that it's the front of Lorne Orpher then.
So basically, you want to do East
yeah,
Meridia,
you want to do
and then yeah.
You do not want to go the other way. That would not be good.
So yeah, Glove further along the path. Solski still has some advantages though. Got the microwave action for Batwoon and Dragon, and then we also get stand-up potential.
I think that maybe we didn't see the other end of East Meridia either, and I think that we might not have seen the back of Rex Ship either.
We did see the back of Rex Ship.
Okay, if we saw the back of Rex Ship, then we did see it.
Back of Rex Ship was in Red Brinstar somewhere, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it was the tube, if I recall correctly, because I remember at the time we couldn't. Once we saw it, we couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Double reserve?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
It's exactly what you want to see when you're looking for ammo.
Awful. Man, this is fascinating. All right, well, Glove is on the correct path here. Now it just comes down to managing the ammo. And will Solski be able to find a way to catch up?
I think that it'll just come down to, like, this is, like, Glove is ahead by a set amount at this point. And if Glove can, like, find enough ammo while not losing so much time that they fall, like, behind that set amount.
Right.
Then they should win. And if not, then Solski will win. So Solski also has a few other advantages with the microwave beam, with stand up on Mother Brain. but nothing like super major. It's mostly just going to come down to that.
Yeah, and the fact that Glove has the grapple beam, you know, mitigates that a little bit. Like, it would be worse if you had to just straight up ammo kill Dragon.
Another interesting thing is that Glove will actually, did we see all the portals? I might have been wrong earlier, but Glove will be checking East Meridia items, looking for ammo, and might stumble across the one item in speed that's still there, where Solski will almost certainly not be checking these items.
Ooh, there's a super
there's
pack.
a super. Yep. So Glove is 1 super away from absolute minimum.
Yeah.
Pretty much 2 supers away from like comfy go mode.
Yeah, looking good. I still am having a hard time knowing what to make of this Kirby sprite. I feel like it's like Buff Kirby on top and like Captain Falcon on the bottom or something. Glove is actually choosing to straight ammo kill, which it won't be super slow. The only problem is, well, it's not really a problem, but the only thing that'll potentially catch up later is you want to have 30 supers for Ridley. Obviously,
Yeah,
you don't
honestly,
have charge.
I think that this is actually a pretty big deal because that's so she has 18, the equivalent of 18 supers plus these drops. For Ridley.
Speed booster. It's got to be in East Meridia, right? It's the only
Yep,
item
it
left?
does. It
Yeah.
does.
Thank you, Ragnarok. I appreciate that very much.
Okay, so Solski doing this as well. So we'll see where Glove decides to go. If we've seen the back of East Meridia, I would expect them to go through it because of where in Green Brinstar they end up if they go through the front. And that's just like not a good place, but
There's that spring ball value.
mm-hmm.
We've been waiting the whole seed to see it. There it is.
Well, we've seen it in a couple of places. But
Don't ruin the narrative, Zach.
okay. That's the first time it's been useful all seed.
No, but I'm with you. I kind of feel like Glove still in control, but
so Glove,
tricky.
Muscle memory went into that room thinking that they probably, like, with speed, it's normally right to go through that room. But once you're in there, you may as well just, like, do the reverse Metroid skip, I think, rather than coming back here and going down the sand pit. Like, it's better to just go down the sand pit at first, but once you're already in that position, I think you should just freeze the Metroid.
All right, we're about to see a little bit more of that full beam combo value from Solski here.
Mm-hmm. And you can see, I think, that Solski is catching up a bit, but not sure it'll be enough.
But will it be enough? Feels like Glove is pretty significantly ahead right now.
Yeah, I think so. I would give them about 3 minutes of lead. Oh, maybe like 2.5.
It's a Kirby sprite. Look,
Maybe more if
that looked closer to
keeps
Cookie Monster to me than
that.
Kirby. Lord.
I think even if Solski catches up, he should be disqualified for making us witness this
Right,
display.
right. You know, normally this is where I would bust out my "this is what happens when you allow a Link to the Past people into the Super Metroid community" joke, but there's too many of them around at SG Live, so I feel like I probably shouldn't make that joke. By the way, I'm just kidding, everybody. One thing I do need to point this out about Solski. Solski's been a busy man here at SG Live in multiple tournaments. Very, very skilled runner, and obviously showing skill by making the bronze match of this tournament as well.
Mm-hmm. Glove remembering there's a super here.
Nice, nice memory.
I think that she checked it early and reset out of it.
Well, either way, it's always nice to find one.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is double missile, isn't it?
Yep, and that should be enough to have comfy go mode.
Still, though,
And Solski
taking a little
is
bit of
going
time.
through the back. Okay. I feel like actually the portals I was thinking about that we missed are actually the Upper Norfair portals. So this could go to one of those.
They're trying to get to Crab, right? Crab is the Crab criteria portal is the Lower Norfair Three Musketeers, right?
Yep, you're right. You're right. Yep. So I think it'll depend on where this portal goes. Kind of who's ahead. If this portal goes to where Glove is going, I think Solski is actually ahead. Or wait, no, we've seen it. Never mind, I'm stupid. So, yep. We haven't seen this portal though. I saw the new map tile.
Oh,
Yep.
interesting.
So we haven't seen that portal, and then I think Torian is at Croc entrance in Upper Norfair. Then
We still haven't seen the Croc entrance?
I don't think we have.
Oh, man, that one slipped by me. I wonder what Solski's saving for.
I think the Forgotten Highway, or so you said that the Forgotten Highway was on the wreck ship side was Red Tower.
Oh, there's the tracker. Awesome.
Yep, we got.
That's a neat tracker.
right
Where'd you
in
get
front
that?
of us. Okay, yep, you were right. It was the tube entrance that was wreck ship back
The
half.
back of wreck ship,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
And Solski, unfortunately, looks like he's going to the wrong portal first. I actually like going to this portal first with this item loadout.
Right.
It's a bit quicker to get there, but unfortunately just won't work out for him.
Right. And you know what? I guess this is probably why he made the save, right? So that.
Well, I don't
Oh,
think,
I guess he doesn't have to,
yeah.
though, because he can space jump across the top and get back to the elevator.
I actually think so Front of Norfair went back to Green Print Star.
If he can get back to criteria fairly quickly, though, the fact that he can technically take the Three Musketeer one and then in and out possibly and save a little bit of time. Anyway, we'll see. Sometimes without a tracker in front of me, it's hard to put the pieces together.
Yeah, it's hard when you're watching and like you don't necessarily see all of the portals too.
Right. And you're not like thinking about it in that way. Like when you're running, you're not, talking about random stuff.
Yeah.
You're in a different mindset. All right, Solski going to be closing in. And this is where it doesn't loom large. It's not a super huge deal. But you remember we did talk about how Glove opting to use all those supers on Dragon would actually end up costing some time. And we're about to see that happen right here.
Glove needs at least like 5 more supers if they don't want to use power bombs.
The good news is grapple does make this much easier and faster. But we're at the mercy of the game. This is something, well, yeah, full on
Yeah, full
energy,
on energy
means
means
100%
missiles.
missile unless it's a tier 2 drop. And I think supers are somewhere in the ballpark of like 20% from these, or 25% maybe from the Zebas. I don't
So
remember.
this is enough for Glove. We'll
40?
see how far they decide to go.
I think it's officially around 40. That's going to be my official prediction.
If
Because
they
I
go-
know somebody's going to put it in the chat. Yeah, this standing still is not fun.
Especially when you have another runner breathing down your neck trying to catch up.
Plus, right now, you have enough. Really, you just kind of need to get to 25 and then unload, or maybe a little over 25. But yeah.
Even less than 25 would probably be fine with 75 missiles. That's a lot of missiles.
Man, this is getting a little tight. All right, that's the pattern you want to see when you got 30 supers. Oh, unfortunate there.
Oh, missed one.
Not a huge deal though. I mean, we got plenty of regular missiles,
Yeah.
but this is eating up some time.
Yeah, Solski not having to stop for any
No. This is getting.
Okay, so Solski I think is about a minute behind, I want to say. I think that this fight generally is about a minute with full beam combo.
Man, the end of this race is getting really fascinating.
Solski will have about a little under, like, probably about 15 seconds of time save on stand-up. I don't think there's any other real advantages for Solski at this point. Glove will have to be more careful on Metroid rooms.
True. I guess stand-up, yeah, stand-up's the only thing.
I think this could get down to, like, half a minute of difference. If Solski, like, plays really well.
Yeah, that execution really matters in Super Metroid Randomizer. That was kind of an interesting thing from Ridley there. All right, that should be it. There we go. A little bit of a slow death animation, unfortunately, for Solski, but he is through and not that far behind. He's going to be space jumping there to get out immediately, and here we go.
Another potential time save would be Glove could take a save.
That someone in chat just mentioned that. It's a good call there, Zeb.
Someone asking in chat, Torian Elevator does give an automatic refill as well, so no need to like try to farm up.
Right.
Otherwise, Solski would have a very large advantage if Glove had to.
I don't like going up here. If you have space jump and screw, I like falling straight down and just space jumping across.
I'm not sure which is actually faster.
I guess I should time it, but
I've heard that this is just faster, so I normally go this way that Glove is going, but like I've never actually timed it, so I don't know myself.
Yeah, it's probably pretty close either way.
Can't imagine it's more than like a second or two, or maybe a couple seconds, but
I will say this, going that way avoids some of the lag that the reverse Pillars Room can lag pretty bad, even if you're space jumping across. It's real bad with the power bombs. All right, so Glove exiting the front of Lower Norfair and going to be looking for that Torian portal, which is located at Croc. So just a few rooms away. Going to take advantage of that wave beam. Unfortunately, bonk the door, so going to get a slightly slower jump across this room. Not a huge deal, but... See, yeah, Solski's going pretty quick. Of course, the flip side is he's going to have to drop a power bomb in this next room.
I think that's the reason that... and he needs to drop another one now. That was too low.
All right.
So
buckle up, everybody.
Let's see when Glove gets on the elevator. 105.33. So we'll see what Solski's time is.
Yeah. Barring anything crazy with the ammo, Glove should have this.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's like enough time to lose. Although Glove does have to be careful with ammo. Okay, got good ammo
that
there.
was a good ram.
Was down 4 supers. That's a lot of supers to be down. Probably just gonna missile the last Metroids. Solski approaching the elevator now as well. Looks like just over a minute behind. 106.41, so a minute and 8 seconds of difference between the two runners.
Yeah. Man, this turned out to be a really fascinating one in terms of the different decisions at the beginning of the game.
Yep, Solski just able to run through these Metroid rooms, not care about drops at all. Although getting grabbed here.
You know, I hate to say it, but I feel like obviously you could go back and nitpick like a bazillion things in Rando, right? But I kind of feel like the thing that put Solski a little out of reach here is if he had just picked up the space jump in West Meridia and not gone to Mama Turtle with an inability to get out, I think this would be a completely different situation. Easily more time was spent going down and checking it, trying to do the spring ball jump, resetting, restarting, than the time that's different between them right now.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it was just when Solski decided to use the buff Kirby sprite that he lost the race, but...
Right. So you're saying it was an earlier decision?
Yeah.
It was a decision before that, yeah. But yeah, he went down without high jump boots. He had no logical way to get out of Mama Turtle, so it was basically like find gravity or bust. And if he hadn't made that decision,
especially,
he could have utilized that space jump.
I think you might have said it, but like, yeah, he already knew where high jump was, so there's no chance of getting bailed out by high jump at Mama Turtle. So.
Right. So I think 18 missile leeway here for a glove.
Yeah, pretty comfy.
Yeah, should be no problem. And that should do it right there. All right, glove is through. Gonna damage down. Obviously can't do stand up. Well, you can do it, but you can't do any damage. So just gonna chill.
Didn't pick up quite enough missiles to be able to damage Mother Brain with stand up.
That's right. Yeah. And unfortunately, we'll not be getting the hyper beam. So.
Solski having a bit of trouble with this Zeb skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this race would have actually gotten relatively close at the end if Solski had been able to execute a few of these strats a little bit better. I think the Ridley fight went a little bit off script, I would say, for Solski. There were a couple of other things that could have brought... I don't think it would have been enough for Solski to catch up, but it would have made it very interesting at the end.
For sure. But, you know, as far as game ones go, this was a really good one. Interesting. A lot of divergence. And really close, you know, competitive at the end, I guess would be a better term. He's going to get through this fight very quickly and then gain about, you know, depending, but probably somewhere close to 15 to 20 seconds to stand up. Assuming he doesn't lose the ability to do it, which I don't believe that will happen. This should be a one catch-up fight.
Shouldn't, especially because of the reserves. Could
Correct.
technically do it even if he took a hit. But Glove through MB2 into MB3, through the MB2 cutscene, rather.
A good bit harder to get 4 per jump of the hyper beam shots when you don't have high jump boots.
I actually almost find it easier, but you have to like do the full jumps, and it feels like it's less in your control though. It feels like if you get in the right spot, and Mother Brain like is right there, you can just like do full jumps.
How nice do you want me to be to you right now? How nice do you want me to be to you? Nice or not?
You can be mean. I don't care.
I'll be nice. Yeah,
Okay.
it can work okay without hyper. The mean version was going to be, hey, man, go practice some 80%. Just kidding with you. Just giving you a hard time. But no, you're right. It really, some of it sometimes depends on how much she wants to, like, position herself forward or away. Like, that's always really annoying.
Yeah. I kind of like without high jump that you get to do the full jumps instead of having to, like, kind of...
yeah, control that.
Yeah.
No, it does make it less complex on the inputs for sure. Oh, nice moonfall there by Glove. And we're gonna get to see a low ice last climb here, because no high jump boots, no speed booster. A little left side climb.
I like doing this left side climb a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's fun.
It looks like Solski is likely to be about a minute 20 or so behind. Given when that head dropped.
Man, that was a fantastic race. Get your GGs in chat ready for Glove. Gonna be on the ship. All right. GG Glove. Taking game 1 of the best of 3. That is our full countdown, our final full countdown in terms of the main bracket. Stay tuned for game number 2, which will be Chozo Logic, and full area. So we'll take a short break and let the runners, you know, stretch out a little bit, grab some water, etc. And we'll come back for game number 2. Zeb, final thoughts on this one?
Hopefully we don't have another buff Kirby sprite, but I'm not optimistic about that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But actually, I really gotta say, I feel like both runners handled this very well. It's really interesting how the same seed can play out 2 completely different ways in these areas. So great job to both runners, Solski and Glove. We'll be back with game 2 shortly. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Speed Gaming 3. We are in our bronze match for the Super Metroid Randomizer tournament. Best out of 3 match between Glove and Solski. 2 fantastic runners who've had a fantastic tournament, not only in this tournament, but also in other tournaments here as well. So we're really excited to have game number 2. Glove won game number 1, so up 1-0. Zeb, I'm joined by Zeb here. Tell me what you thought about game 1, and then explain what's happening for game 2.
Game 1 was a really close race. It ended up being about a minute and a half, even a little less than a minute and a half apart. Was a very interesting seed where both of the runners did very different things. One found charge, one didn't. Caused a lot of like kind of cascading effects from that afterwards. But for game 2, we have a Chozo area seed where. So all of the different items that the runners will need to complete the game, all of the major items, all those that you can see on the tracker, grapple, X-ray, 3 E-tanks, 1 reserve, 2 missiles, 2 supers, and a power bomb will all be on the Chozo statues. as well as boss rewards. So like behind Kraid is a boss reward, right side super is a boss reward for Fantoon. Behind Ridley is a boss reward, and behind Kraid behind Dragon is a Chozo statue anyway. So, yep, all of those items will be on the Chozo statues and at those boss rewards.
Right, and a couple things. Number one, Zeb making a good point about the way our area randos play out. A lot more opportunity for divergence, whereas, in our more vanilla traditional way, sometimes you don't quite get that opportunity. We're ready to go. But we actually talked a little bit about this recently, how Chozo mixed with full area actually presents some really fascinating and interesting ways that the item locations interact with the portals that is different than full countdown and major minor. So this is going to be really interesting to see.
Absolutely, and I think that with Chozo specifically, you really need to be thinking about the logic way more than in any other seed, because with Chozo, the only items that are taken into consideration in logic are the items on the Chozo statues.
That's right.
With the exception of a couple of hell runs that require more than the 3 E-tanks. Sometimes it can allow 1 extra E-tank or something to put those in logic, but for the most part, you basically have to be thinking, okay, what have I seen on Chozo statues, and what does that mean in terms of what's on other Chozo statues?
That's correct. So y'all get yourself buckled up for another fast run here from these fast runners. We got Chozo full area game 2. If Glove wins, we have a bronze medal finisher and then a 4th place spring ball winner, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then if Solski wins, then we'll have a game 3 to decide the winner of this bronze match. So let's get it rolling. One interesting thing about Chozo, this has to be the morphing ball every time.
Yep, it cannot be anything else because the other Chozo item here is at Awakening Missiles, and there's no way to get that without Morphing Ball.
There you go. Personally, I like that because it means that I don't have to feel the pressure of accidentally missing that D-boost.
Yeah, that D-boost is it's something that is so simple, but yet it's just so hard to get really consistent at it and just always have it every time. So
as Zeb was pointing out, this missile is a logical missile. So this statue right here is a logical location. So it won't, technically you could keep going and skip these items over here and still be able to eventually get where you want to be. But I would say the meta, rarely do people skip these 2 items over here because there's just too many good things that can help you, get started.
Yeah, sometimes the seed will actually kind of try to force you to follow the logic and give you E-tanks here, which actually makes it more valuable to come over here and get those. Also, sometimes you get an out-of-logic power bomb, which can just be enormous.
Oh, huge.
Even that out-of-logic super could be a pretty big deal. But we'll have to wait and see. The only logical item now is Bomb Chorizo, and Bomb Chorizo has to have either supers, power bombs, screw, or speed. Could be any of those items, but has to be one of them.
I don't have the numbers to back this up. I'll just say that it feels to me like when I play Chozo seeds with full area that it is higher likelihood that I leave that bottom part without a power bomb, and so you have to orphan that first portal check, which might not end up being a big deal, but sometimes going for a long time without knowing what that is can be kind of nerve-wracking if it's something important down the line.
Yeah, if it's a Kraid, or even if it's something that where you would normally not want to get to the portal, for example the back of a wrecked ship or something, that can be a big deal not knowing that.
That's a great point. So our next logical item would normally be at 230 if we had an explosive 230 missile, that door just under there, but we don't have an explosive, so we're gonna have to check Bomb Chorizo first. I feel like we're going to get regular bombs here. I got a feeling.
That's just kind of how it's been going, so we'll see.
Oh, yep. Let's go. I actually love seeds like this because you still have an explosive, but you can actually, in our match too, we got bombs early, but didn't see the logical power bomb for a long time.
And I actually in Chozo these a lot more than I do in Major Minor, because with bombs, for example in Green Brinstar, you can still get all the majors there.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about coming back there later. You can still get all the majors in Criteria if you really want to.
That's the fascinating thing about it is you have these explosives that let you get to all these items, but there are certain portals that you're scared of because you don't want to go up Red Tower you know, not knowing if you're going to be able to get back out or if you're going to get 2 bad portals up there. So, yeah, bombs provide some interesting stuff. And this is a pretty standard play. Once you get bombs at Bomb Torizo, I would say most often you're going to head right back down to 230 and see what you can get there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that this is like not only because 230 is useful necessarily, but just for the information about like what is here.
Right.
Although here it is very useful.
Ironically, I think Charge Beam was at this location in the last seed, which was full countdown. But Charge actually interacts with Chozo logic in a I'm going to put it more significant way in some ways than the other modes, because Charge is required in Chozo to defeat Ridley. It's also required to get to past Batoon, and it's also required by logic for Croc. So that actually does give you some information.
So this is really interesting. Solski going over to the right. I think that this means Gauntlet, although there's a Power Bomb, so that makes...
Out of logic Power Bomb.
It's also possible Solski just wants to go to the portal on the right. We'll see which... I'm guessing this is a Gauntlet play, but it could be either. I
think... You'll have to correct me, Zeb. I always forget some of the counts, but you can definitely do Gauntlet here.
Ooh.
But it is not... I don't think it's in logic yet, because I think you have to have a certain amount of energy.
I don't think so. I actually think that Gauntlet, for some reason, doesn't take energy into account, if I remember right, but I could be wrong.
We'll have to double check it, but either way, it can be dangerous.
I actually think if I were Glove, I would do this Croc too.
Especially getting that charge. It's like telegraphing. Yeah.
Although maybe not, because so I think that the seed is kind of forcing you to do that Croc logically, and I think it's supers or power bombs, and you have both.
Wait, are you saying that it wants...
Oh, wait, no, it could be a Gauntlet, too. So, we'll see what's at Gauntlet first, before I say that.
Yeah. This is what makes Chozo so fascinating, is, like, you can actually, like, sort of deduce things with more clarity than you can in the other modes. But, yeah, let's find out what this is. Is this going to be the super, I think? Oh, the power bomb.
Okay,
interesting.
So Croc doesn't necessarily have to be anything now. You can get through the meme route portal, so something could be there.
You know what's funny? I was gonna say I'm not really sure that I like that.
Oh wow!
Solski needs to be very, very, very careful.
I bet you Solski will go to Terminator after this and be like, "Why the heck did I do this?"
I was just gonna say it's not fun. It's not gonna be fun to see that out of logic power bomb immediately after you spend the time getting the logical.
Although Glove is going here too, so I think Glove might be thinking the same way as I was.
Oh my God! I can't believe that he did that. Oh my God! Please, please stop. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh wow! Those are nice items to find in the back of Gauntlet. You know, he really had to think about whether he valued energy there.
Yeah, I don't think this Solski values his energy at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Glove, on the other hand, looks like they value their energy pretty highly.
Yes, I would agree. I kind of wish Solski A would have farmed the 2 power bombs right there from the beat'ems, and then also picked up whatever's at Terminator. We know that that's going to be kind of a big deal. I would love to see him make this play here, but he's not going to.
Yeah, I think...
Unfortunate. But, you know, like you said earlier, it's possible it's still nothing. But, if that's like a significant item, it's
I kind of feel
huge.
like Glove is going to do Croc now after knowing those are power bombs. If those were something else, then you would know that Croc has to be power bombs or supers, and you would be able to skip it. But now, after you've done Gauntlet, and you know that there was a power bomb there, you know that Croc doesn't necessarily have to be one of those things. So
right. Also, I've seen situations where Croc had like an energy tank, but it was like logically required to hell run.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh nope! It looks like Glove is just leaving.
All right. Well, let's find out what the ramifications for that skip will be. It could be that that's the correct play if there's nothing important down there, but it could loom large later if it is something important.
You see Solski actually shaking his head when he found those power bombs.
Yeah.
Not particularly happy with those. When you do that early gauntlet, you find power bombs there, you're kind of hoping that there aren't any out of logic power bombs.
For a long time, yeah. And you're hoping that your opponent didn't do it.
Yeah. So this is actually an out of logic portal. We still don't have logical supers. And it is Kraid. So we got one Chozo here. And Kraid is vanilla. This is not boss rando. So may as well do it now. Get that Chozo out of the way, figure out what it is. So this one can't be the logical super. Or it technically could. If the moat transition is like you can get to the moat transition from somewhere else, it could potentially be, but very unlikely to be the logical super at this point.
If we saw a super here, it seems more likely that it would be like the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second.
Yeah, that's kind of what
super.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
But it'll depend.
Oh, Solski.
Nice.
Nicely done. Very impressive.
Okay, yeah, it's not going to be the logical super
Yeah.
based on that portal. Or it would have to be like pretty crazy for it to be the logical super at this point.
It would have been better for Solski had that CWJ paid off, but the information is still helpful.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, I think actually that portal that Solski found there, like, I think that just like every portal like that is so valuable because so many of the portals are just kind of like isolated from each other. Like that one is pretty far away. At some point, Glove is probably going to have to, if they don't CWJ or IBJ.
Oh, screw.
If they don't CWJ or IBJ, I think that they'll at some point have to like, find that at somewhere or like go to that from Meridia.
Here's my prediction. Again, we can check later. I could be wrong. I do think that there is, with regular bombs, I think there is an energy requirement for the gauntlet item, like logically. And I feel like that screw attack is now the thing that lets you get there without energy. I think screw attack is 0 energy.
So you think that supers are at Croc and that lets you get this?
I don't know.
Because this isn't in logic yet, because we don't have supers, and you need the super door to.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right. So it could be that those supers, the logical supers, are at Croc.
Yeah, I feel like it's very likely that they are, but not guaranteed. I don't think yet.
Maybe somebody in chat can check the Varia site and actually tell us the statistics. I've been wrong more than right, I think, when I've gone back and checked different requirements, but I feel like there was some type of energy requirement for regular bombs.
If it's one E-tank, it's also possible that a Croc could be an E-tank instead, and that could be access to the power bombs.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so technically it could be that screw was just a coincidence. But at this point, they have to do Croc, right? There's no other portal they can take.
No, they can take meme route.
Oh, you're right. They can fall all the way back down. But that is not something. Yeah, that's not something you necessarily want to do. This is a situation where
I feel like doing Croc is
happens.
pretty unlikely to pay off too, though.
That you're
because
right.
It's it's very likely to be something like an energy tank or a super, just something that gets you access to that gauntlet.
Now you're 100% right. And see, this is where we don't usually have discussions like this in the other modes, just because there's so many more item locations, and we know that technically that just those Chozo locations can get us through the game. So it's funny how you can deduce different things. Looks like Glove is heading back to Croc.
Yeah, I think I probably would have gone to the portal at this point with where Glove is. I think I would have done the Croc earlier, but now I would probably do the portal.
So let's find out I think you're right, Zeb. I think this literally has to be supers.
Yeah,
Or
it depends on like what the logic requirements are for the gauntlet, but yeah, like
hold on, I've got another question. Sorry, it's late, and I'm tired. Is it possible that this is Varia, which then lets you go into that upper Norfair portal, which is on the other side?
that is also possible.
And then
Yep.
then the logical super is there.
And that might also be
That'd be crazy.
Varia might be the energy requirement for gauntlet too with bombs.
Look at you. There you go, man. We have come up with all kinds of different scenarios. If this ends up being Varia, that's going to be really, really interesting.
Okay, someone in chat saying that it is 2 tanks for bombs and 1 E-tank for power bombs for
Gotcha.
gauntlet.
And I think probably 0 for screw.
I think it's 0 for screw.
Yeah.
Even SM Rad is 0 for screw, so.
All right. Well, we all learned something today.
And we'll get to see the transition as well, so we'll see what is here for Solski. And it's Red Tower.
Oh, Red Tower.
So logically, you can't get to Spazer yet because you don't have logical supers.
Correct.
Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, I think the supers are probably a crock. Like, that's just how the seed, like, reads, kind of.
I feel, and again, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like this literally has to be supers or Varia. Unless I'm just not doing the math correctly for the rest of the checks at the beginning, but these portals were so specific that I don't think there's any other option. Oh, this is dangerous. The only thing I get nervous about is when you're facing away from where you're trying to go. Sometimes you can forget and like barely tap over, and then you don't. You get bonked off in a different direction. All right, what's at Spazer here? All right, what's it gonna be, chat?
Oh wow, it is very.
So the logic is to take that suit to the other portal, go through Upper Norfair, find the logical supers.
So, chat also says that now it's 0 tanks with Varia. So those power bombs are now in logic. So we don't really know like first supers could they be at Red Tower somewhere? I think they could be at X-Ray technically. If we found like a grapple beam or something.
They could be at Wave, right? The first supers
yeah,
Wave?
they could be in Norfair, but they could also be this Red Tower is now in logic.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, no,
So-
you're right about that for sure. Oh, because of the power bombs and Gauntlet, yeah.
Although also we found a Red Tower transition, so or Red Tower transition to Upper Norfair, so it would be logical through that too.
Yeah, so here's one of the Chozo items up here at Alpha Power Bombs. Zeb and I were having a discussion about different things the other day, and we talked about how you mentioned the fact that Red Brinstar takes on a whole different feel in Chozo than the other modes because you get a pretty large percentage of the overall items as well as the 6 transitions. Ooh.
That's a good one.
Jet.
So I think that Glove will probably be checking Upper Norfair while Solski is finishing up with his Red Tower checks. Solski not going to be doing X-Ray, I don't believe. Looks like he skipped it the first time around. I don't imagine they'll go back just because he got speed. What would be kind of crazy is if the first logical supers are at X-Ray, and they get like, I think it's 2 tanks plus Varia plus bombs.
Oh my god.
So if there are like 2 logical tanks somewhere.
Yeah, this is crazy. I very rarely think about the Varia requirement of like X-ray, you know what I'm saying? But it does come up occasionally.
I mean, yeah, like if you're doing a Chozo seed, like there's no way to really like require X-ray without like space jump or grapple unless you have Varia suit. So
I will say this, I'm glad that we get to finally see the Varia suit. A lot of times in Rando, you'll get multiple seeds in a row where gravity comes first. You never get to see the gravity or the Varia palette, so it's kind of cool to see Gloves Varia here.
it looks like Solski resetting out of okay, so took a save, reset out of the elevator. I wonder how much time that saves versus just And I think that was the top of Meridia.
Ooh, high jump
yeah.
boots. Wait, that's wave, isn't it? Or was that speed? That's speed. Yeah, this is speed because the floor would look different in the weight room. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Solski didn't check that transition first. I think that... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, I think that maybe we would see Solski go down that Meridia transition to see what was at the bottom. Because he has the save, but...
Nice debut, Solski. Screw fall there. Very nice. Double. I don't know. Feels like wave to me. Didn't we decide that we thought it was going to be supers? Or did we just say it was possible for that to happen?
It's possible. It's not necessarily like... So this one is in logic already. We'll see. Nope.
Oh, just a tank. Okay.
Okay, this is where I was talking about that X-ray.
Yeah, man. How about that?
So you can still get to high jump now without any supers. And that could be...
oh, that's a great point. Yeah, I
that
didn't
could be
even think
another
about that.
E.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I completely forgot about that. High jump boots making it actually a little more complicated here. And we'll just go the other way. Mr. Incredible, the championship match was earlier today between myself and Zeb. I guess since you're asking about it, you probably don't know the results, so we will not spoil it for you. If you want to see it, there should be a past broadcast. Actually, I think it's split over 2 past broadcasts. Game 1 was 1 broadcast, and I think Game 2 and 3 was sandwiched with some other stuff. But it was on SpeedGaming 4. So if you want to check that out, you can go and I thought it was a fantastic match.
Yeah, it definitely
start to finish, there was a lot of intrigue. So go scope that out. So Glove on the way to check this far portal here at the new bridge. And
okay,
ooh, interesting. There's that logical reserve.
Also interesting.
Yeah. We should have
How about first supers at screw attack?
We should have a tournament where we run Chozo and you're not allowed to get anything but the Chozo items and nothing else. That would be really funny.
I think first supers could be at screw attack. Is that possible? If you got space jump to activate the statue, and then you had like a charge, you already have charge, so you can
actually. I think you already have access to speed and high jump though, which I think gets you out of screw. I think logically it gets you out of screw. So you don't even have to do space jump. Yeah.
No, I meant like space. You need the space jump for the statue to activate because you can't green gate glitch without supers.
Oh no, you're right. Holy cow, dude! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would be crazy. Yes, nothing you would. The Chozo, you know, if we're just talking about the logic of it, it is designed to be able to complete the game with only the Chozo items alone.
Solski having issues with this jump morph.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
It's a lot easier with well, you don't even need to wall jump there. You can just do a straight jump and morph into that. And if you don't have
jump boots?
yeah, without high jump. If you don't have speed, it's a lot easier because if you start running and you try to do that, you won't quite make it unless you like do it at a very specific time.
Right. There are actually scenarios. Sometimes people give me grief for this, but honestly, I think it's it's comfortable for me. There are times where if I don't have hardly any energy there, but I really want to make that check, I will turn Speed Booster off to make sure that I don't screw up the momentum of that room. Because once you make one mistake, it can be lights out.
Is 1E 1 reserve plus bombs enough for X-ray? Because that reserve is in logic.
Talking about with Varia?
Yeah.
I think it is.
I kind of feel that for supers at X-ray, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like trying to make it happen because I said it and it's really interesting.
Stop trying to make fetch happen or whatever. Yeah.
But
Well, where are we going now? We do have, all right, we do have high jump, as you pointed out, and various, so technically lower Norfair. I think the lava dive is in logic. Oh, interesting. They're going to the exact same place.
I think if I were Glove, I would really consider doing that lava dive. She has 25 supers, very close to the amount of ammo you need. Has bombs to get out of GT, or out of Screw Attack, so has a way to get that Chozo. Even has charge, technically, to be able to kill Ridley, even if she didn't find any extra. But I think that going back to Green Brinstar first makes sense, too. Like, it's a pretty dangerous Lone Warfare right now, even with Screw Attack. So there's another missile. That one doesn't really mean much logically. We already have one.
Also, just as a follow-up to the comment or question in chat earlier about could you finish the game with just the Chozo statues, you can. One of the reasons why is because the ammo in terms of regular missiles and supers is exactly what our low percent categories are. So you have to have 10 missiles and 10 supers to be able to get through Mother Brain 1. And then from there, if you have Charge Beam, you know, you got the Mother Brain 2 fight.
It looks like most likely those are the logical supers now at Sportsmon. So we don't have to worry about that, think about that too much anymore. I would pick that.
I was going to say, I don't turn down supers, especially this early.
Like, I know you have charge, but you just got charged. Like, that's a really, really bad beam.
Right. And they do already have 30 supers, but again, picking up a super pack serves two purposes. Number one, yes, it does give you maximum, but it's also a way to farm.
Yeah.
You know, like you're essentially farming 5 supers for 7 seconds, which can be very helpful in various scenarios, like later for Botwoon and stuff like that.
But this will be plasma, and we won't have. Well, oh no, never mind.
Ooh, pancakes.
With 2 E-tanks, that's probably enough for basically the entire rest of the game as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially with Screw Attack.
It's funny how the energy tank requirements of a run in area do change a little bit because of the possibility of that reverse amphitheater. That does come up from time to time, and I think everybody who's done enough of these eventually runs into a situation where they wish they had picked up more, you know? So I usually don't turn down energy tanks early either.
Yeah, especially I see some runners turn down energy tanks when they don't have a very good Lore Warfare loadout and they've only got like Varia. And
Right.
It's like, if you ever want to do that, like that's going to just be like taking your energy, a lot of energy, so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So, if Solski had decided really early in the race to go down that West Meridia portal to see what was at the bottom, he would have ended up at Green Brinstar. Or at Red Tower.
He's going to have to gravity jump this or bomb jump it, I think, right? Oh, he's not going to do it.
Does he not?
He can just bomb jump it, or he should be able to gravity jump it.
Yeah, I would just gravity jump it.
Can he even make that?
Looks
Oh
like he
my
can.
gosh, wow. I didn't even know you could do that, which is very cool. On the flip side, though, it would have been significantly faster to just do the gravity jump. But, hey, cool points for Solski on that one. Nice job, man. I learned something new today.
Yeah, I feel like at this point with Solski getting gravity, actually that pushes Solski even farther away from Croc. and farther away from that Varia suit.
Yeah, unfortunate. And I think you and I, it's funny how these situations keep coming up after we've already had discussions. Like Hell Running, Lower Norfair, and Chozo is like the very unlikely,
Yeah.
very unlikely.
Normally, you can kind of like read when the seed is trying to tell you to do it. Like
Right.
you get like a bunch of E-tanks, and you're like, okay, I think that this is the seed like making it so that this is possible. Where I think we've only got like one E, one reserve logically for Solski. I'm not even sure if Solski found the E. I don't remember where it was. Yeah, it was at Wave, I think, so Solski did not find that E.
What did you say this was going to be?
So it's an E at
I'm at X-Ray.
Oh, I was saying that it would be supers, but now I don't think so. I think that it is, I don't know, something
Space jump.
else. Sure, space jump.
Actually, I'm going to go with Spazer. I'm going to go officially with Spazer.
It is supers.
That might have been it.
Yeah,
man.
that might be it.
That might have been it.
So
wait a minute, hold on.
There were two available, both of them in logic at that point.
But the other one would have required killing Spore Spawn?
Yeah.
That's terrible. Wow.
So the two logical super missiles either require you to do Spore Spawn or to bomb jump over to X-Ray. Or maybe run and jump with speed and high jump, because I think speed is in logic.
No, you're right.
Solski may be forgetting that this isn't a major.
Yeah.
Could just want this anyway, but I think that it's more likely that you just like forget, because this is a major and major minor.
True. In his defense, though, I will say that it's a little bit more defensible when you have gravity, because you can just run, and obviously screw attack as well. You can just run through that lava without taking any extra damage, which makes the room a lot safer. Only problem is you're not guaranteed to get anything. But he did find an E-tank in there, which was
that was
pretty nice.
Really nice. And we'll be finding high jump as well.
Yeah. And here comes the speed booster for Glove. And the reaction of approval, right?
I think that that's basically go mode for Glove, that speed booster. It's the way through bot wound. That's all that they needed at this point.
And if you're only going to get one beam other than charge, Wave's not bad.
Yeah, Wave's not... Yeah, it's fine. Like, with this amount of ammo, you only need to do like half the fight with charge shots against Mother Brain.
Oh, there's Artorian. Solski already saw that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was the top of Meridia. It was the Cephy Fish room.
But I don't think Solski did or did not have gravity.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He had a save, so he could have decided to go down it.
Right.
But decided not to.
Yeah, everything's kind of coming up in Glove's favor right now. That early decision to check Croc for the Various suit. The super early charge straight into bad Portal's Croc play. Really kind of the seed kind of telegraphing that would be one of the ways to get through. But yeah, at this point, we'll have to see how Glove decides to approach the remaining portals. We still have 3 bosses to kill, but as Zeb has already pointed out, the loadout here is actually pretty nice, and you could just decide to quit checking items.
Yeah. Ideally, you would hopefully get like ice or another power bomb pack, but with area rando, it's not too bad to just have 10.
Right. You can do the first room, drop your 3 power bombs, and then just hit the elevator again. It's a little, you lose a little time, but it's really, in most cases, better than hunting around for a pack.
Another interesting thing is that Glove has found all 3 one-ways now, so it doesn't like I don't know if we found both ends of like East Meridia, for example. But Glove doesn't have to worry about like there being a one-way at the end of it and getting
Yeah.
stuck there.
No, that's an excellent point. Knowledge is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy? I very rarely see this many energy tanks in a Chozo seed, but Solski could, if he got like another maybe 1 or 2 power bomb packs or something, he could potentially make an attempt at Hell Running Lower Norfair.
Honestly, yeah. Like I would want more supers as well.
Ditto.
But I think with like 50 supers and like 25 power bombs, it's not crazy.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. But still, Hell Running Lower Norfair comes up very, very rarely in Chozo.
Yeah. It's just normally like better to just do the Chozo statues
Right.
because there are so few of them.
Indeed.
So we'll get to see... Okay, so we won't get to see that portal yet. Sometimes I like to check that portal so that I know what my plan is after fighting Dragon. But I think it kind of has to be better than the other portal for Glove at this point, so I think it's totally fine not to check it.
We very rarely get X Factor strats in Rando.
Yeah.
And we got the D Factor on Batoon, which is an X Factor named after one of our excellent runners, DeCalled, who found a strat to get the particles to set up that way. So I always get excited when I see that in a randomizer race because it's very rare to show up. Ooh, Glove got a shot at this full half.
Look good.
Let's go, Glove.
That was too high, but it worked out.
That was actually perfect because somebody in chat can correct me. I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 pixel window where you're high to the point where you get the drop from the creature that you kill at the end, but you still make it. Whereas every other way you do it, you have to like, if you want that drop, you have to like.
Do you also
jump.
have to be that high to get the down back afterwards if you want to do that?
That's a good question. I can't remember about that part of it. Man. We're also getting a potential 80% Dragon fight here.
Oh.
Overall, though, Glove should be able to clean this up. Oh,
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I think I would have just been careful about that and just like missiled at the end there.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I really don't like going for the extra Shine Spark here.
Are you saying you don't want a game 3?
Well, look, man. Both of us don't want to see it because it happened to me in a finals, and even though you didn't do it, your teammate did in a finals. So I think both of us are not wanting that to happen. Got to get it here. Oh wow, this needs to be an E-Tech, and it is.
No, it's a super.
Oh, you're right. Oh, but we do have the ability to. I was gonna say Crystal Flash, but no, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Either. I'm sorry, I missed.
You could maybe farm the waiver until it drops you 3 power bombs to Crystal Flash.
Was Dragon an E-Tank? I'd have missed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Dragon was an E-Tank? Gotcha. Because I knew we were out of supers, missiles, and power bombs, but it didn't look like anything else on the tracker got updated. So.
Yeah, so I think there's one more Chozo E left.
Glove was already in a commanding position, but really feels like Solski is putting forth a very valiant effort, but it feels like Glove is you know, in the commanding lead here.
I mean, just not having Varia for Solski is, I think, just too much to overcome.
Right.
And I don't hate that he's not going back for Croc at this point, although it's interesting. Once you see those two supers, you know that Croc's not a super anymore. And if you like really think logically, I think you could technically piece together that Croc has to be Varia.
Right.
Once you realize that.
What if you thought, instead of logically, what if you thought emotionally? Then how would you feel about what would happen?
I would feel pretty bad if I were Solski if I were thinking emotionally. But
Solski making his way into East Meridia, which is obviously where Glove just finished up. East Meridia is the scariest place. First of all, East Meridia is kind of a scary place in all of the randomizer modes, but in particular Chozo, because there's 3 items. One of them is you're going to, if it's not ball shuffle, you're going to get behind Dragon, but then the other 2 are checks that you would probably prefer not to do if you can help it.
Yeah.
Glove did not seem to like that that Doppler there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they went for the Doppler instead of the X Factors.
Well, I think Glove runs new route, right? So
I think that Glove has run a lot of old route though too.
Oh, okay.
So I think that they know it. I could be wrong about that though.
No, you're probably right. It's just that sometimes if you've done new route lately, you just default to the Doppler. Oh, unfortunate there. But getting bailed out with a last round fast, and Fantoon is dead.
Yeah. Just has Ridley left, which I think that the front of this goes to the back of Lorne Orpher.
Yeah. By the way, chat, real quick, if you would like to take a look at Solski's camera, I'm going to wave at you guys. Hello. You can see me waving at you twice. There you go. I just noticed that we're on that one too after the curtain adjustment. All right, so the only thing left for Glove is lower Norfair. All right, here's an interesting spot. Glove going to skip, probably only going to check that back E-Tank. But would you have checked the right side super for the Chozo reward?
I don't think so. Not at this point. Like, if you also didn't have speed, I think it would be defensible.
Right.
But you're just looking for ice or plasma. Like, Spazer would be okay, but I'm not even sure that Spazer would save the time that
Yeah.
I think you do check Freship E though. I think that with the amount of items that you've checked already, I think the odds of it being good are like something like 40% or something.
Right. Plus, it's an incredibly fast check when you have gravity, high jump, and speed.
Yeah.
You just kind of jump across and do the wall jump, and you're there. But
yeah, and both ice and plasma would save a lot of time at this point still.
Correct. But Glove decided not to check it. That's all right. Heading down to the back of wreck ship portal. I actually don't know. What is this going to be? Do we know this portal
I think
yet?
that it's going to be back of Lorne Orpher, but I don't think we've seen it.
Gotcha.
I could be wrong about that. We could have seen it at some point.
Hey, look at you, Zeb.
I'm not always wrong when I say stuff like that.
I was going to say, you've been way, way more right than wrong. Give yourself a little credit.
It's a lot easier to say stupid stuff when you're commentating, because when you're running, you think that stupid stuff, but then you think a little bit longer, and you're like, wait, that's wrong. Whereas when you're commentating, you just say it.
Oh,
you just say it the first thing you
You think while you play? I just mash buttons, man. Well, I'm just like, what do I got? Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's actually, to be serious for a moment about these modes, that is one thing lately that I've really enjoyed about adding area to the mix is, like, you really can't shut your brain off and just autopilot. Like, on old Major Minor vanilla map, I kind of could just shut my brain off for like 5 minutes at a time and just do segments. But here you have to constantly think about where you're routing to. So it's really, really engaging way to play.
Also with the old like vanilla map kind of stuff, you could just take like any random like good vanilla Super Metroid runner and they could just like pick it up very quickly.
Right.
Where with this, you really have to learn area rando to get good at it.
You do. I agree. It is a obviously your skills within the game, your execution matter. Super Metroid, of course, is going to matter, but there are scenarios that exist that you can't really plan for until you do them, and it's a totally different skill set. In other words, you got to get beat up by a bunch of seeds before you figure everything out.
So an interesting thing here for Solski, Solski will get to the same point and find this back of Lorne Warfare. I kind of feel like we see Solski just kind of go for it at that point, because what else are you doing? Are you going all the way back through Rex Ship?
No, you're right.
And all the way back through East Meridia?
Yeah.
But I think that Solski will probably check all of the majors before then.
Yeah, he's going to hope that Varia is at Plasma. You know, in his position, if you think about the way he's played, if you check Plasma here and it's Varia, there's a good chance that you're ahead.
What'll be even worse if Ice is in Rex Ship and then he thinks, oh, it's like a Shack Duel, and then he goes back and does like the Ice Clip or something.
Yeah. I like this play by Glove, by the way. Used all the ammo other than supers, and now going to use Charge Beam to damage Ridley until pink, and then that way, you know for sure, like, okay, 15 supers ends the fight if I land them all, right?
Yeah. Is it faster to charge shot instead of farming up beforehand with this beam?
With this beam, see, okay. Depends on how we want to define faster.
Yeah.
Are you referring to everything going perfectly? Personally, I feel like if you take into account like situations that are likely to happen, I feel like farming is better.
Yeah. I think I would farm with this beam, but
yeah. And your ceiling is just so much higher on the fight. But we could sit here and talk about that stuff all day, right? I would check the Ridley item here. What about you?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a couple seconds, and you got a chance to spike. Even Spazer here, I think you get the value from Spazer even just with that door transition.
I think in most modes, not checking bosses, like when you're in this like good of a go mode, is totally fine. Chozo, I think, is the one where you actually want to just keep checking until you like have almost everything, like where most things will be like, maybe even the best thing will be like only like a few seconds of time saved.
Right. But at the same time, I understand the feeling of wanting to just go fast, so. It's always fascinating to watch a rando race versus be in one, because when you're watching it, you can be like, oh man, this runner should be totally comfortable, like they're so far ahead. But when you're in it, you're like, you feel like, like you're not.
Like Glove has no idea that Solski just skipped proc the entire race and just like.
Correct.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like, that jump almost killed that Skiga there. All right, nice speedball.
That jump was going to be a little high to get the speedball, but it worked out. I think the one thing that, if Solski were planning on doing a Suicide War in Warfare, and Solski actually got grapple from Plasma, that might lead him to Croc after this. One thing that I would consider for Solski would be to like pick up miners, but I really don't think he's thinking about that at all. He's just like, I'm going to be getting Varia at some point.
For sure. And we were discussing this earlier. Here's that reverse amphitheater. One of the things that would have basically almost never happened in vanilla. Actually, it wouldn't have happened unless you like forgot screw and something like that. But otherwise, never would happen. But here, you got to actually take into account that situation, have a strat for it, etc.
Yeah, because this is just so much faster for Glove than going back through all of Rex Ship and then all of East Meridia.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, getting hit there. Not a big deal here because Glove's got plenty of energy, but I've had plenty of times where I've been forced to do that amphitheater, and then I get in there and I'm like, I really need to not get hit in here. Well, I can't remember. Where does this one portal out to? I've already forgotten. Have we even seen this one?
We have.
Okay. I think it was early. This is like criteria, right? No.
Okay, yep. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I remember Glove seeing it with Varia and High Jump and commenting on how they could do it if they wanted to.
Right. I'm thinking of the early Upper Norfair when that was it. I think G4 maybe.
Looking back on it, that would have been an absolutely terrible decision for Glove had they done that, because it would have led into Wreck Ship, and the Wreck Ship would have led into Meridia, and they wouldn't have been able to do that Meridia, so they would have had to go all the way back through. Well, they could have gone through Meridia at least, so they wouldn't have had to go back quite as far, but it still would have been bad.
Nice cleanup of Fantoon there by Solski. Yeah, so Glove making her way to Torian. I actually forgot where Torian is. Do you remember?
Red Tower. It was at the Meridia.
Correct, the Meridia Escape section. Yeah, good call. So I do want to say this, you know, barring something catastrophic happening, you know, Glove is going to win this race. But I do want to brag on Solski for a minute. We do joke around a good bit with Solski, you know, and rib him really hard. But Solski is a really, really good player to, number one, qualify in the top. I think he was seed number 6. To qualify and make it into the top 8 for this was, you know, there was a lot of competition. And he's made it deep in several of the Super Metroid Randomizer tournaments, and he was the number 1 seed in SMZ3 here. He's a fantastic Link to the Past runner, so very skilled player at a lot of different games. I anticipate that he will be a force in Super Metroid for a while to come.
Yeah, the only thing holding him back is his choice of sprite, but everything else about him has been really solid.
He's a gamer. Also, he's the only person I saw here at SGLIVE who had people walking around wearing a shirt with his name on it. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, so. All right, there's our Torian.
Yep. Glove's still on 10 power bombs, so we'll likely just go back and refill after room 1. I like to continue through if I get 1 power bomb drop in room 1 and play it a little riskier. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's what I like to do.
All right, what's this Wreck Ship E-Tank going to be?
Plasma.
Plasmar.
Oh.
Spring ball.
Even better.
Right, yeah. So much damage value.
Yeah.
Zeb mentioned this earlier, but Zeb, for those that might be unfamiliar with the modes, will you explain again briefly about the, 10 power bombs, but this is area, so it's a little bit different?
Yeah, so with the elevator will always refill you when you go down it. So with Glove not getting any power bombs, she's just deciding to go back to the elevator.
Right.
Ride the elevator up, ride it down.
Needs 9 more at minimum to finish the rest of the 3 rooms. Although we have seen some players, because it happened to me in the quarterfinals of our most recent tournament, but we have seen players not get drops in the first room and yet continue anyway and gamble and hit. So it does happen occasionally.
I saw a while back someone get 3 power bomb drops in Metroid Room 3 from the 3 Metroids.
Oh, wow.
But
that's incredible. If you like gambling, then and you want to play Super Metroid, but you want to do a vanilla category, then low percent speed is for you.
Yeah. So the world record have 2 Torian trips, or like 2 refills?
I actually can't remember.
I think it gets like a power bomb drop in room 1 and room 3, so that it only has to refill once. But I wonder if low percent speed would be faster than low percent ice if you could like guarantee every Metroid to drop you a power bomb.
It wouldn't, and the reason for that is you would gain time in several areas. It's just that the way you gain time from speed is not as huge as you might would imagine, and then the boss fights are still long because you like Mother Brain's 300 shots instead of 200. That 100 extra shots is a lot
Ridley
to overcome.
Too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, the problem with getting power bomb drops from every Metroid might be more the health at that point.
So we do have a standard potential standard baby skip attempt here with high jump boots and speed booster. We do have some really phenomenal runners who no longer need those items to do baby skips, but I'm a traditionalist, so I would need them. Ooh, very, very nice. Love to see that. Nice job, Glove. There's Ice Beam. And for those of you wondering, maybe you've never seen Chozo before, that Chozo statue right there, not the gravity location itself. The gravity location is not a logical item, but it's that Chozo statue just outside.
So
And
Solski will be heading back to Shack Tool, I think. Once that's not Varia, I'm curious if he will try to farm up to do a Suicide one.
That was a really good attempt at the speed Zeb skip there. Really good
Yeah,
short.
that
That's
one-
3 in
yeah,
a
that
row
one
that Glove
looks-
has had a good shot. Oh,
Yeah, there we
very
go.
nice. I realize that some people don't find short charging to be crazy difficult, but for me, that's like when I see people that can consistently get really good short charges, I think that's very impressive. Especially like when you're in the heat of a race, you know, and the pressure's on.
I think it's crazy that like how short of charges some people are able to get. Like
Yeah.
I know Cutie likes to do the MB room short charge.
Yeah. Cutie, and obviously everybody knows Zost and knows Zost is really good just in general, but Zost has some of the sickest short charges in
And
the
honestly,
game.
Hoda Ruby too.
Oh,
Hoda Ruby's
yeah.
another one who can really do those short charges really, really short.
Oh, yeah. Is it just me, or is the wave by itself charge shot like kind of like I always find it to be the most weird in terms of the hitbox and like the visual on it. It always throws me off a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that most people would say probably Plasma alone.
Yeah, but I feel kind of like Plasma. It looks differently, but it behaves a lot like the pea shooter in terms of the the angle and stuff.
Yeah, I'm more talking about like how it passes through stuff randomly.
Right, yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's true. But I never can tell like what part of the wave particle is like, or the shot is actually like hitting.
Wave Beam I actually always liked, like just alone, because it's pretty wide.
Oh, you know, that's a good point.
Kind of like Spazer. Makes it easy to like, for example, if you like mess up Bot Wound and you need to do some charge wave shots, makes it pretty easy to hit Bot Wound with it.
Looks like Glove is waiting to fire the supers for catch-up phase. We've talked about this, you know, several times. You know, there's different philosophies. Ooh, that could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
Different philosophies. I certainly don't blame Glove for doing it this way. I actually like unloading my ammo earlier and then charge shotting during the catch-up because there's typically less things happening during catch-up. Like there's not as many onion rings and, you know, well, there's no onion rings.
Solski just
but yeah.
deciding to take vengeance on Shack Tool multiple times before resetting.
Yeah, what was it? What was it? The
Space Jump. Yeah, I think that it makes a lot of sense actually to wait until catch-up when you have that much energy. Because the only thing you're worried about at that point is the catch-up, basically. Like, if you take a few onion rings, if you take a few, like, meatballs or whatever, like, that doesn't matter. All you care about is, like, getting through the catch-up phase as fast as possible.
Partially true. You sound like someone who hasn't lost their low ice run from taking 4 straight onion rings to the face. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, when you have that much energy.
No, I'm
when you're
with
at
you,
$3.99, then it's different.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I think when people first get into the game, a lot of times their first introduction is like maybe doing old route or maybe hundo, and so they get used to the 20-shot fight, and they feel like Mother Brain 2 isn't like a hard final boss, but she actually can get pretty difficult in other circumstances where you don't get through the fight that quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you like can't afford to take like almost any hits.
For sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are closing out. This is the final roughly 2 minutes or so of the main bracket of Super Metroid Randomizer for SGLIVE 2022. As we mentioned earlier, for those of you that missed the grand finals match between myself and Zeb, it was earlier today. We won't spoil it for you from this point, but if you want to go back and watch it, it should be on SpeedGaming 4 in the past broadcast. This is going to bring our tournament to a close. We do have a few runners, I believe, doing some consolation bracket matches tomorrow. But those are best of one. I don't know if they're going to be on a restream. So we are close to saying goodbye to Super Metroid at SG Live 2022. And it's been a really, really fun time. Excellent 2 games in a row by Glove. Solski put up a great fight too. Just, unfortunately, this is one of those seeds where if you didn't do Croc at the beginning, totally changes the trajectory of the rest of the seed.
Yeah, I feel like Solski will be kicking himself more for the first seed than this one.
Right, yeah. You can just kind of write this one off as, just didn't work out.
Yeah, and it always feels bad to lose the first one close and then the second one is just not even competitive like this.
Right, for sure. Well, man, that's twice in a row. Glove's got that sick, that's about as fast as you can get that moonfall right there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to run the baby strat where I jump.
Yeah.
And a Behemoth Spark to close it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, here in about 20 seconds, get your GGs in the chat for Glove for taking down 3rd place in this tournament, but also GGs for Solski as well for a fantastic tournament and getting 4th place. And we'll try to get the runners over here for an interview. But GG to Glove, taking down the bronze, match 2-0. Well done.
GG Glove.
GG Glove and GG to Solski as well. We'll try to get the 2 runners over here for an interview, and then we'll wrap this thing up, Zeb.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll see you here for the interview.
Glove, Solski, if you guys could come over, we'll go ahead and take care of this interview. GG. All right, how do we want to do this? Let's see. We want to make sure that they're on the camera. So why don't we sit on the outside, Zeb?
Okay.
And we'll let them sit on the inside. All right, all mics are live. Very good. Welcome in Glove, and Solski also making his way over. First of all, GG to both of you. Congratulations, Glove, on taking down 3rd place and winning this match. Solski, big congratulations to you as well for making it to the bronze match, putting up a great fight. We'll start with Solski. We were kind of talking about how the first seed, there was a lot of intrigue. The second seed was one where, to be honest, you can't even really feel bad about it. It's just one of those things where you either get very at the beginning from Croc or you don't. So just tell us a little bit about the 2 matches from your point of view.
Second seed sucked. Just had to play it a little bit more aggressive, being behind one, right, and just chasing later into the seed for suits. Got it with gravity, and then just Varia never showed up, right? So it's unfortunate. It was at Croc. The ice debacle was like the one I was really worried about. I'm like, it's going to be really embarrassing if I lose because it was an ice. Just been having controller input issues all tournaments throughout SGL. So
yeah, it really sucks.
Speaking of which, I did want to touch on that because I don't know how many more interviews or a chance you'll get to speak to the audience, but you were a really competitive player in like a ton of tournaments here. Honestly, one of the more accomplished people here if you look at the totality of all the tournaments. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like from a macro sense, trying to you're constantly playing matches, and I'm sure it's pretty tiring. So
it's been hell.
Yeah,
it's been hell. Like you only have 4 days really to cram in all the tournaments, so it was kind of a scheduling nightmare for a while. But I'm out of Link to the Past first, and then I was out of SMZ3 pretty early, or a lot earlier than I wanted to be. So it just so happened I was able to beat Duck, because he kind of sucks, and then Zub beat me because I kind of suck, and then Glove beat me because I kind of suck, right? So
I don't think I agree with that statement. In fact,
I'm better than Duck. That's the important thing. So
I was actually complimenting you a little bit near the end of the second race here, saying that for someone who is, and again, I'm not, I know we joke around a lot, but to be very serious, for someone who is in A Link to the Past and sort of SMZ3 main and as good as you are at those, to be a legitimately competitive Super Metroid Randomizer tournament, to have gone as deeply as you have in multiple of our tournaments, I think really speaks highly of your skill set.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely not my main forte. Like, I don't really practice a lot of SMR or anything like that. So in fact, I don't want to say I didn't put any work in, like maybe a couple seeds, but it's just one of those things I was kind of doing for fun. So it's good to see how far it kind of went. And,
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of time for practice. I've been pretty sick, as you guys probably heard.
Sure.
So for the last month and bit, so it's been kind of rough. But yeah, no, I'm still kind of happy with how I did here. So
Yeah, you did great, and I'm glad that you decided to participate and check out the
Thanks.
area. I know that was something you had done a ton of in the past, so I'm glad that you that you got into it.
that first race was real fun, though. I really liked that one. So
Yeah.
I love the full countdown method.
Yeah, y'all both need to definitely watch that one back.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations,
Thanks.
Solski, on making the bronze match, and it was a lot of fun hanging out with you, too.
Thanks.
Glove, we will come to you. Congratulations. Obviously, you got 3 really good matches in here at SG Live. Tell us a little bit about your experience with tonight's match.
Yeah, so the first one, I made some pretty glaring mistakes. I died to Fantoon, which, like, that... some of that was bad luck from Fantoon, but at the same time, I should have accounted for him better and dealt with his patterns better. Not getting charged at 230, I think, was, like... If I'm going so far as to check criteria, power bombs, and gauntlet, it was just a complete oversight to not check 230. So that was really unfortunate. Then I had to change my routing. I could have had one more super that from Wreck Ship Ocean that I just didn't go back and get after I reset because I was like, I kind of have to push it a little bit. So it was a pretty icky seed for me, but I got to the point where I was able to read the seed's logic to where I was like, okay, so the answer is either in Upper Norfair or I have to go through West Meridia. So it's like, all right, I can do 2 portal checks in West Meridia, or I can check a bunch of items in Upper Norfair that could be a suit, or it leads to Croc, which can also be a suit. Like, those are the only possibilities. Or as Zeb mentioned, give you speed to go back to high jump and you do suitless Meridia stuff, which that would have been like the most ideal situation, I guess, because I do think generally I win suitless seeds against most players. Yeah, and then the second race, we just finished up an any percent tournament, which I did better than I should have in. So I was like, yeah, this is any percent.
Yeah, it felt
I
good.
like this.
It's funny, all that explanation that you just did, I think, is sort of shows what area brings to the table, because I feel like the in-depth discussion of variety of scenarios doesn't quite happen as much with like our old vanilla map stuff. So it's really cool. Zeb, I'll turn it over to you to ask some questions if you have some specific things that you want to hear from Glove about.
I guess I would just say that I don't think that skipping 230 was like a bad decision, because you still had Billy Mays left from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was like crazy, because you would have been going back for that one item like alone.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, it was weird. I think maybe I was already doing too much in criteria.
Yeah, I think that's more the answer. Like, I think going through Gauntlet was good, but probably checking criteria power bombs was a little too slow.
Yeah, if I had speed, I think I should have checked criteria power bombs there, but bomb jumping up was too slow. I agree.
Well, my final question for you before we do a quick send out for our community here, just overall experience at SG Live, Glove?
Oh, it was wonderful. Like, it's been so cool, like, getting to meet all these people that I've spent time with online for the past, more than 2 years at this point. SpeedGaming Live has always been a very important event for me. 2020 was when I became a part of the community. It was sort of when I really started to take this game seriously. So to finally be able to come to one in person and meet a bunch of really cool people from Super Metroid and other communities, it's been a really awesome experience.
Awesome. Well, I have one kind of final thing I want to do real quick, but before I do, Zeb, do you have anything you'd like to ask or add to what we're talking about?
I think I'm good.
All
go
right.
ahead.
if you guys don't mind, we have several people from our SMR community that are still here. If you guys would come and try to get into the frame for a minute, this is our last chance to kind of be together on stream. Come on over. I really want to say thank you right off the top to Stump, who tracked for us in this match and several other matches. There's Stump right there. Prof, Kev, and Papa Schmo here. I'm going to stand up so you guys can, like, get into the frame here. Everybody can be seen. Come on over, Stump. I know we're kind of fitting in tight here, but there we go. I think that's everybody. We had a fantastic time at SG Live. We really enjoyed, as Glove mentioned, spending time together, and we really appreciate just the opportunity that the staff and everybody has allowed for us to be here. So thank you so much to everybody at SG Live. Thank you so much for everybody watching at home, and anybody else want to say any final goodbyes?
See you next mission.
See you next mission.
Bye, chat.